With regard to income, passive income siya sa akin. Pero hindi ko talaga siya tinitignan as something na gagawin ko full-time. Kasi something na, alam mo yun, nakakatuwa kasi ini-enjoy ko lang siyang gawin. To be paid for something na in-enjoy mo lang gawin is nakakatuwa, di ba? Nakaka-fulfill in a way. So, what motivated me to do it is out of boredom. My first 6 months here sa Hong Kong, it's so different, so hard. Dumating sa point na gusto ko na rin umuwi.
Hello everyone, welcome. Today I am with a special guest. Hello!
Grabe naman
Hello.
special guest.
Special guest, of course. So I'm doing these series of vlogs where I am interviewing fellow OFWs. So now we are going outside Thailand and we are interviewing an OFW from Hong Kong, JB Domingo.
Hello, I'm JB Domingo. So as what Jamrel said, I'm also an OFW here in Hong Kong. I've been here for 7 years now. Grabe, sobrang bilis ng mga pangyayari. But yeah, just like Jamrel, I'm also doing content creation on the side. In addition dun sa, 9 to 5 natin dito sa Hong Kong. So yeah, I'm working as an analyst sa isang adtech company dito. Doon lang naman umiikot yung mundo natin. So from content creation, 9 to 5, and then mahilig din ako maglaro ng games. So, I mean, Pokemon games or games din sa console like PS5 and Switch. So, and yun, mahilig din ako mag-travel. So, if you happen to come across dun sa mga vlogs natin or sa channel ko, usually yun yung content natin about my life here in Hong Kong and travel din na ginagawa natin on our free time.
Why are you in Hong Kong? Did you get a job opportunity through online ba? Through friends, families, connection? Paano ka napadpad sa Hong Kong?
Unexpected talaga yung pagpunta ko dito sa Hong Kong. I mean, I didn't really plan for it or plan of like migrating. Hindi naman migrating, but working here abroad. Randomly, nagpasa na ako ng CV, update ng CV sa mga online parang job search sites like JobsDB. Ano pa ba yung mga... Wala na kasi Monster dati. I mean, dati may Monster. Ngayon yata parang wala na or iba na eh. LinkedIn na yata yung talagang sikat ngayon or usually na doon na nagkakaroon ng... usually doon na nagre-recruit yung mga, HR and all that. And then, out of nowhere, as in, hindi naman ako nag-apply totally doon sa company na nagpapunta sa akin dito. So, they just got my contact details through that site. Kasi basically, para siguro meron silang database or what, and then they'll just, get your skills, kung pasok ba or whatsoever, yung qualifications, ganyan. And then, that's where it started. I was recruited by an agency, and I didn't know at first. I mean, I didn't know that it was for Hong Kong. Basically, they are just looking for someone or for like people on the application support, so IT side to or IT industry. And then yun, after kong makapasa dun sa parang first level na parang e-scan or parang siguro i-assess nila kung pasok ba ako or yung qualifications ko ba is pasok dun sa hinahanap nila. After parang second level of interview with the HR, doon ko na nalaman na the job posting is actually or yung position is actually based in Hong Kong. So yeah, I worked there. I worked for that company for almost 6 years. I mean, more than 6 years then. Tumagal din ako before I switched jobs. Pero ayan, thankfully, nakahanap pa rin tayo ng work sa Hong Kong pa rin.
Ano ba yung struggles dyan?
Cantonese, yeah.
Oo.
I mean, sobrang hirap. Like, for someone na lumaki rin, like supported or surrounded with a very big family, sobrang grabe yung naging adjustment ko rin, like before moving here sa Hong Kong. I mean, by the time na yun nga, nag-fly ako papunta rito, talagang yung adjustment, sobrang hirap. Yung homesickness, talagang yun yung kalaban, yun yung struggle na kung gusto mong malaman. Iba rin yung work ethics and culture dito sa Hong Kong, especially if you're working with, locals. Kasi iba yung expectations nila. Like, hindi ko naman sa parang, binabash in a way yung work culture sa Pilipinas. Pero sa Pilipinas kasi, there are times that may mga alam mo yun, ma-enjoy mo siya, may chill moments. Basta ibang-iba yung experience, yung environment. So, I guess, dun din ako nag-struggle dun sa pagtira ko or pag-work ko dito sa Hong Kong.
Kung may Pinoy na looking to find a job sa Hong Kong, Of course, as you explained na iba yung work culture dito, what advice would you give them para maka-adjust sila ng maayos sa work culture sa Hong Kong?
Sobrang cliche siguro sabi ito, pero siguro kasi meron akong magandang support system, I guess. Yung family ko, they are really parang very supportive, prayerful, especially my parents. Even my, yung mga kapatid ko. So, I guess that what also kept me insane. Insane tuloy, sane. That's what, I mean, those, yung naging support nila, yun parang pinahawakan ko rin. Kasi, yun nga, my first 6 months here sa Hong Kong, it's so different, so hard. Dumating sa point na gusto ko na rin umuwi. Gusto ko na umuwi kasi sobrang stress na ako. Hindi ko ma-meet yung requirements or yung expectations sa akin nung boss ko dito or what. Tapos, hindi rin naging maganda yung ibang experience with regard sa mga coworkers, ganyan. But in the end, I guess, yun nga, prayers, it really helped me so much. Sobrang swerte because I also got to meet someone na naging kasama ko dito sa Hong Kong. So, she really uplifted me. Wow, ang cheesy. So, basta yun, siguro ang swerte lang kasi nakahanap ako ng someone na talagang tutulong and makakapag-boost nung moral and nung... Kasi iba pa rin kapag may kasama ka, di ba? Dito. I mean, basically, she's my girlfriend now, but back then, she's also my friend, my best friend na talagang, ayun, she kept me like grounded and parang there's something na I look forward to siguro when I go to work or for me to still pursue or stay here sa Hong Kong. Do something outside of your work. Just like ito, yung pag-create ng content, it is something na naging outlet ko rin. It also what kept me sane and what kept me, alam mo yun, na hindi ako ma-burn out din sa work ko.
Why did you pick vlogging?
Actually, even before I went here sa Hong Kong, nag-try na rin ako mag-edit lang ng mga travel vlog. I mean, mga travel videos ko. Hindi pa vlog yun eh. Parang more on, wala lang. Alam mo yung parang gusto mo na i-document yung memory. I mean, for the memes lang or memories yung travel nyo, ganyan. But then, nung pumunta ako dito sa Hong Kong, pandemic noon, nung time na parang doon ko na-realize na parang gusto kong i-vlog kasi wala akong magawa. Wala na, parang lahat tayo, we are isolated. Parang nasa working from home, nandito lang nasa bahay lang, and hindi ka makalabas-labas or what. Kung lalabas ka man, hindi naman pwede yung parang grupo kayo or hindi naman pwedeng tipong parang, alam mo yun, maka-travel ka in a way or makakagala ka na katulad nung normal, di ba? So, what motivated me to do it is out of boredom. Hindi, totoo yun na. Parang gusto ko lang din na ano ba yung parang kaya kong gawin from my, comfort of my home na sa tingin ko, yun din, hindi ako babaliw in a way. Di ba? Kasi everyone's like isolated, lahat tayo nakakulong and all. And I think ang mas nakapag-motivate pa sa akin is yun nga, yung girlfriend ko na parang she saw like, uy, pwede ka kasi she's really a big fan of like vloggers then. Like, before naging kami, parang nanonood siya ng mga vlog and sabi niya parang, syempre kilala niya na ako and all. Parang sabi niya, uy, parang kaya mo tong gawin. Parang kaya mo yung gawin yung ginagawa nila. Kasi katulad dito, ang dal-dal ko, di ba? So parang in a way, parang sabi niya, why don't you try doing it, di ba? So with regard to vlogging, I guess it changed me in a way na parang mas confident akong i-handle ng sarili ko. I guess, like yung confidence. Kasi sabi mo nga kanina, hindi biro na meron kang camera sa harapan mo, naglalakad ka, di ba? Nagsasalita ka mag-isa. So, swerte ko, minsan meron akong kasama, di ba? Na meron akong kausap. Pero yun, it really helped me boost yung confidence ko. At hindi lang yun eh. Parang if you are vlogging, you're also kind of like sharing a piece of yourself sa publiko, di ba? So, you're somewhat, parang, ano ba yun? Opening your life to the public. So for me, it also kind of changed how I perceive yung yung opinion or comments sa ng ibang tao. Kasi yun nga, sabi mo, hindi mawawala na merong mga makakapagsalita sa'yo ng mga hindi magaganda. Parang i-judge ka nila on how you present your life through your vlogs. So ako parang natutunan ko kung paano siya i-filter, kung paano ko i-divert yung attention ko to something na, I mean, hindi naman masama na bigyan mo ako ng constructive criticism pagdating sa pag-vlog, pagdating sa pag-edit ko, or pananalita ko sa vlog, or whatsoever. But if I find it not really, if the comment is not really something na I can benefit from, of course, maapektuhan ka. Pero siguro yun nga, eventually I learned how to filter, how to handle those kind of, opinions or comments. Natutunan ko. And it also improved the way the way I navigate my life, especially pag nagta-travel. Kasi through vlogging, sabi mo nga, may mga vlogs ako na informative in a way, di ba? So, yun din. So, for me, para dun sa mga manonood ng vlog ko, I also parang make sure na at least ginagawa ko yung, I do my due diligence whenever I travel. So that, yun din, kung may manonood sa akin, they would see na, okay, ito yung ginawa niya. So, nag-work sa kanya, what if gawin ko rin, baka mag-work din sa akin. Alam mo yun, whenever you travel, parang ganun. With regard to income, passive income siya sa akin. Pero hindi ko talaga siya tinitignan as something na gagawin ko full-time. Not yet. Diba? Kasi, yun nga, I'm still building siguro, my channel. I'm still building my audience. So, I really thought of doing it full-time before. Like, ewan ko, kung may nakapanood ng vlog ko about, how I switched my life here in Hong Kong. Kasi, yun nga, nag-switch ako ng job. And it come to a point na kung hindi ako makakuha ng work dito, babalik ako sa Pilipinas to do full-time vlogging. Pero thank God, hindi yun yung naging path. Kasi for me, siguro kung ginawa ko yun, baka nag-struggle din ako. Kasi ang dami ko rin mga inisip eh. But basically, yeah, it's just, right now, it's not something na pinagkukunan ko ng malaking, bahagi ng kung paano ako or yung sa expenses ko and all that. But I'm really fortunate na nagiging passive income na siya. Kasi something na, alam mo yun, nakakatuwa kasi ini-enjoy ko lang siyang gawin. But to be paid for something na in-enjoy mo lang gawin is nakakatuwa, di ba? Nakaka-fulfill in a way.
Yeah, I think it's also really cool na OFW while you are abroad na dina-document mo. Aside kasi from memories, things to look back on, you're able to help people and you have a unique story to tell. Just by being abroad, that in and of itself is very unique na because there are so many people from the Philippines na have never stepped foot inside an airplane.
Nasabi ko na rin, ang daming travel vloggers, ang dami yung mga about sa, pag-travel, lifestyle and all that. Pero meron at merong makaka-appreciate ng ginagawa mo dahil nakikita nila yung sarili nila sa'yo. Alam mo yun? Parang, oh wow, parang someone na dito nagsimula. Yeah, diba? Dito nagsimula, dito nag-start, and then eventually, nakakapag-travel, nakakapunta na doon sa mga lugar na, yun nga, na dati gusto mo lang puntahan or napapanood mo lang sa TV or what. Just be authentic. And yung consistency. Kasi ako, sa totoo lang, sabi ko na rin na may mga times na, grabe, no, parang nakakapagod din pala. Lalo na kung, lalo na kung ang tinitignan mo is numbers, ang tinitignan mo is yung kung gaano karami yung taong nanonood sa'yo, kung magkano ba yung kikitain mo doon or what. But then, always bumabalik ko doon sa point ko na, wait, parang hindi ko dapat inisip yun. Ang inisip ko is, gusto ko tong gawin dahil nag-enjoy ako. Gusto ko tong gawin kasi gusto kong i-share yung kwento ko. 'Di ba? So, siguro lagi kang babalik doon sa core mo, sa bakit ba ako nagsimula. May mga nakikita rin kasi tayo mga, they really have a big following na, pero 'di ba, hindi nila na they were not able to kumaga maintain and sustain kung ano yun na kuha nila before. Kasi darating ko sa point na parang you'll get tired, you'll get burnt out. Pero siguro yun nga, kailangan bumalik ka pa rin doon sa core mo and kung paano ka nga ba nagsimula.
I want to also come up with advice no for Pinoys na who want to start vlogging, who want to start YouTube channels on the side. Kasi doon din naman ako nag-start. I only started vlogging. I mean, I made YouTube videos before sa Pinas, pero yung seryoso talaga na vlogging was when I was here na abroad. And I've seen other OFWs, other Filipinos na who also want to do that as an outlet. Some people want to do it as a part-time job. And so, I wanted to ask for advice kasi I already heard some from you. Number one, you said na know your why, know your core. Now, why are you doing this? For some people, it's to help, it's to inform. Others, creative outlet. For some, they want another source of income. Another that I heard from you is also to niche down. Kumbaga, find your, ano ba yung unfair advantage mo? What do you have that others don't, diba? That only you can talk about, or at least, a few people can talk about. And third that I heard from you was to be consistent. Diba? Kasi the algorithm, YouTube needs to know what type of content you make and where to push you out. Diba? The consistency. And yung sabi mo na, you got lucky. Yes, there is. I think there is some sort of luck there. Pero I think it's also, for me lang luck is just a formula. It's hard work meets opportunity.
Oh, wow.
So your consistency really good. And the opportunity comes. That's your luck. Pero, you already worked for it. You already, yung sabi nila na, overnight success, pero hindi nila nakita yung 7 years na nagbablog ka. Diba?
That's true. Yeah. If you are here for the long haul, yung gusto mo talaga siyang gawin for real, like, hindi lang siya basta gusto mo lang kumita and all. Gusto mo yung longevity and maging relatable, maging ipa-follow at support ng mga tao. I guess it all boils down to, how authentic and how real you are din sa mga gagawin mo.
Anyone is capable. It's just they need someone to believe in them, to push them, and to really tell them that it's possible. And just by you existing, that they see a Filipino, someone who looks like them, who speaks like them, kaya niya naman pala. Why can't I do it, diba? So, just having those role models, I think, is also very important. Of course, as long as they're promoting good things. Ayan, guys, to whoever is watching and you're inspired and you're looking to start a YouTube channel, start na and follow JB as well. Lalagay ko na lang yung link sa channel niya sa description. So, ayun, thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day. Bye!
Thank you! Bye-bye!